Namaskaram, Swagatam, good morning. Every day we are meeting in the morning and the evening, and this has been a very beautiful sense of connection that has been happening over the past few weeks. An opportunity for us to connect in a different way when we cannot connect physically. We have been looking at different practices and many concepts. This morning, I'd like to take a short while to share a few concepts on alternate nostril breathing. Alternate nostril breathing is a vital component in pranayama sadhana, and there are many practices where we utilize either one of the nostrils or both nostrils or alternate nostrils. We need to understand that all of this is based on psychic anatomy and physiology of yoga. The yogic anatomy physiology is psychic. When people start talking about which muscle you stretch in which asana, that is not yogic anatomy and physiology. That is modern anatomy and physiology applied to yoga. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying we have to be clear. Yogic anatomy and physiology is based on a psychic understanding of us as an energy being. So if we are this energy being, an energy being that is connected to the solar system through the solar plexus, we need to understand that we are powered by at least 72,000 nadis. That's the minimum, 72,000. Some of the scriptures talk about 720, 360, and some of them talk about thousands connected to 72,000. It's a variable number. Basically, as far as we are concerned, it is a number that is much bigger than our comprehension. It's as good as infinity in our head. Swami Geetananda Giri, my father, used to say that 729,000. He liked the number 7 to 9. It has a very beautiful energy about it. And he said there are 729 body parts and 729 bija sounds for each body part. Our energy system is empowered by the chakras, about which we'll discuss on another day, and the nadis, which are the energy conduits. They are the channels through which the subtle energy can move. Do not confuse this with a common confusion, which is that nadis are nerves. Anything in your body where physiologically, functionally, there is a movement. And so what are the things in our body where there is movement? Well, through the nervous system, there is definitely movement. The sensory afferents coming from the peripheries to the brain, and the motor efferents from the brain going to the rest of the body. Yes, there is definitely a movement there, no doubt. Second, your blood vessels. In your blood vessels, the blood is constantly circulating. The arteries carrying the blood and the veins bringing the blood back to the heart. And in between the arteries and the veins, you have the capillaries. So the arteries becoming the arterioles and then becoming the capillaries. Capillary bed, like this, a meshed up capillary mesh. The venules, the veins, the vena cava. And the system goes on. So the circulatory apparatus. In addition, you have the lymphatics. So we have three important component systems happening: the nervous system, the system, and the lymphatic system. This is why often you find terms like Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati being used in terms when we talk about the energies. The Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati, Ganga and Yamuna are still rivers in India. Saraswati is said to have gone underground. Basically, the Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati are also metaphoric references to these energy channels. So the right is known as the Pingala. So again, coming back to the thing, Nadi is a psychic energy channel. At the physical level, any aspect of us where this movement is happening is related to a Nadi. But these are not Nadis. It's like blood vessels are not Nadis. But the Nadi energy moves through the blood vessel when the circulation is occurring. So it is more like a correlation between the subtle and the gross. It is like when people have the thyroid removed. They say, now I don't have a Vishuddha chakra. As if the Vishuddha chakra depends. Not at all. The Vishuddha chakra exists with a thyroid or not. Now, if you have a thyroid, the Vishuddha energy can come through it and do whatever needs to be done at the physiological and physical levels of your existence. So coming back, when we want to work on these nadis, we need to understand the three primary nadis. On the right side, you have the Pingala. On the left side, you have the Ida. Pingala Nadi, Ida Nadi. Right, Ida on the left. The central axis, which is correlated with the canalis centralis, it is a hollow canal in the center of your spinal cord. That is the physical correlation. That is not the Sushumna. That is a physical correlation to the Sushumna. Again, be very careful with the way you use the language in this. The canalis centralis is the physical correlation to the Sushumna. Okay, so you have the right peripheral flow, Pingala Nadi, left peripheral flow, Ida Nadi, and the central axis, the most important. So whenever your right nostril is flowing, it is a Pingala Swara. Swara. Swara means a sonorous sound made as you breathe in and breathe out. When you breathe in, the Sa. When you breathe out, the Hum. As we breathe in, as you breathe out, the S. The Hamsa Soham. Ajapa Japa, Ajapa Gayatri. The sound made as the air flows through the nostrils makes that sonorous sound called Swara. So when the air is flowing predominantly in the right, it is the Pingala Swara. Flowing in the left, it is known as Ida Swara. Pingala Swara, Ida Swara. And when both nostrils are flowing equally, it is called Sushumna Swara. Pingala Swara on the right, Ida Swara on the left, and Sushumna Swara when both are balanced. The flow in the right is also called Surya. The reason is that the Pingala Nadi, it terminates at the right nostril, and when it terminates, it gets a new name. It gets the name Surya Nadi. Similarly, the Ida Nadi on the left, when it terminates at the left nostril, and it gets a new name called Chandra Nadi. The Pingala becomes Surya Nadi on the right. The Ida becomes Chandra Nadi on the left. Okay? So what happens? when we are working with the alternate nostril breathing or the uni-nostril breathing, we are trying to set up a pattern of energy flow in these areas consciously. And the base of all of this is Yato Mana Tata Prana. Where the mind goes, Yato Mana, there the prana will flow, the energy will flow, Tata Prana. So what you are doing is mindfully, you are opening yourself up to the flow of these energies. And when you become mindful of it, the energy can flow without hindrance. What is the normal hindrance? Our ignorant, arrogant ego. When you get yourself out of the way, all the problems solve themselves. As long as you are there, the problems are there. And that is why my father often said, you don't have problems, you are the problem. Worth a thought. When we are consciously regulating the breath in the right nostril, we are opening ourselves up to experiencing the Pingala Nadi flow terminating as the Surya Nadi, Surya Swara, Pingala Swara. And this is our heating, activating nature. When we open ourselves up to the left, we are opening ourselves up to a calming, relaxing, cooling energy nature. So when we are working with the alternate nostril breathing, what we are doing is working with these energy flows of the right and the left peripheries, the Pingala and the Ida. We are consciously working with them mindfully. That is actually what we are doing. This is not a breathing technique or a breathing practice that's good for your lungs. That is the chalk, not the cheese. So what we do is that we adopt different hasta mudras. Often you find the Nasarga mudra being used. Sometimes you find people using variations like this. In the Gitananda tradition, my father used to often use what is called the Vishnu mudra. When we talk about Vishnu, we talk about the mark of Vishnu, which is 3 lines, 1, 2, 3. And these 3 lines are used so that you are regulating your right and left nostril flow with these 2 fingers. And the thumb, the little finger and the middle finger is placed so that it is at the Bhru Madhya, the middle point between the eyebrows. So this reminds us of the Sushumna energy. This reminds us of the Pingala, and this reminds us of the Ida. So whenever you are doing the Vishnu Mudra, it is a bit more tough on the hand. After a few rounds, your hands get tired, no doubt about it. But what you are doing is that you are consciously reminding yourself, as Ammaji says, remember to remember. We often forget to remember. Remember to remember. What happens is, we are consciously reminding ourselves there are these 3 energy flows and I'm trying to work with them. That is why this is very useful. This doesn't happen with this. With this, it's easier. It's much easier, no doubt about it. But when you do this, you have the focus, the grounding, which is at the Bhru Madhya with the Sushumna, and the Ida Pingala flows are being also reminded to our own self. We are reminding ourselves about it. Now there are different things that can be done here. While using the Vishnu Mudra, we can do different practices. And I just wanted to express a thought. Today we'll continue over the next few days on this. I've had to go back to work. They need my physical presence. Though I was working from home, the physical presence seems to be needed. So that's making me modify my schedules a bit, but I'll still be doing my stuff as much as I can. And we will be discussing this because this is a very vast topic. This is not a topic for a 10-minute talk. It's a 10-year sadhana, not a 10-minute talk. But basically, just I want you to remind yourself that when we do this, we could be doing the right nostril breathing or the left nostril breathing, depending on what is being done here. I'm exaggerating it a bit so that you can see it. Okay? So here what I'm doing is, this is the right nostril. You see this is free. And here this is, I'm keeping this, but this is free. It's a bit tough there, yeah. Okay? So right, left. This is how we are using it. And what's happening is this is centered. Your middle finger is centered here so that you can understand and remind of the Sushumna flow, which is the central axis. There are different things we can do. One of the commonest aspects is what is called Nadi Shuddhi, Nadi Shodhana in common parlance. And it is treated as a throwaway technique by most. Many people say it's not even a pranayama. Some people say just a breathing exercise. You have a lot of this. The way it is commonly done, it is a pacifier, no doubt about it. But in Swamiji's tradition and the teachings, the Nadi Shuddhi, Nadi Shodhana is not a pacifier. It really works on cleansing the nervous system, and we will go into that over the next few days. So commonly when people are doing what is called as Nadi Shuddhi, Nadi Shodhan or Anulom Vilom, these are terms that are used depending on traditions and teachers. And one thing I want to always make clear is I respect all traditions. Each tradition I feel is perfect within its own framework. Each tradition is perfect within its own framework. The problem is when we take stuff from different traditions and we mix it up, we lose the context. And the moment you lose the context and the framework, there will be confusion. Okay, so he said that, you say this, that tradition does it that way, this tradition. This is the confusion that comes. You should know about the different traditions. You should understand the different teachings, but then stick to one. Stick to one practice. Don't mix your drinks, as some people like to say. Not that I know about it, but still. Okay, so what is normally done is that you find people doing a breathing in the left, then the breathing out the right, breathing in the right, and breathing out the left. This is the common version of Nadi Shuddhi, Nadi Shodhan that you find in the world. We use it a lot in Saiter, in the patient care. It is a very good tranquilizing practice. And I'll discuss this over the next few days, that the nostril with which you initiate the practice. So if you start on the right or if you start on the left, the effects are going to be diametrically opposite. And what we found in our research, and it's all on the net, and if you cannot find it, send me an email, I'll send you those papers. You can find them on academia. They're all there. The main factor seems to be that nostril, we initiate the practice. So if you initiate a practice on the right nostril, it is of an activatory nature when its benefits come out. And if you initiate on the left, it's a deactivatory, relaxatory. So if you need activation, right nostril, beginning practices. If you need deactivation, relaxation, left nostril, initiated practices. This is sort of the bottom line of it. So normally when you do the left in, right out, right in, left out, what is happening is that there's a tranquilizing effect. You feel calmer. And that is good, because so many people are uptight, so many people have a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of fear. So that is definitely useful, no doubt about it. But then in the Gitananda tradition, we have a practice called Aloma Viloma, A-L-O-M-A, Aloma, not Anuloma. Remember? That is different. Aloma, A-L-O-M-A. Aloma Viloma, A means the opposite of Loma Viloma. Aloma Viloma. And this is the practice where we breathe in right, out left, in left, out right. It is the exact opposite of what is commonly done in alternate nostril breathing as Nadi Shuddhi, Nadi Shodhana. And tomorrow we'll start practicing these. We'll start discussing them. I'm going to be talking about the Surya Nadi, the Chandra Nadi Pranayama. I'll be talking about the Aloma Viloma, what is commonly done as left in, right out, which is the common Nadi Shuddhi, Nadi Shodhan. And then I will also be talking about Surya Vedana, right in, left out, Chandra Vedana, left in, right out. And then we will start also going into what is the Nadi Shuddhi, Nadi Shodhan of the Gitananda tradition, which is a practice that we take very seriously, and hence we do not just teach it any place. But I felt that people should start to know that it exists. It is a pure nerve energy cleanser. The psychic energy channels are cleared absolutely. Now, when you want to clean something, you don't just go and nothing happens. It's like, you have a dog in your house and you want to get it out, a stray dog, and you go, please go, please go. Get out. Then it goes. Huh? When you want to clean something, it's going to be a bit rough. So there's a rough cleaning, the Nadi Shuddhi and Nadi Shodhan, and then there is the subtle cleaning. And we will look at that as we go on. Thank you for being with me this morning. And in a few moments, we will start the synchronized global prayer. Till then, see you later.